first thing you have to do is put your IP in the DMZ. Then you do that by editing. I think to actually save it, you need to run sudo first. And that's the file path. And you need to configure IP to 1021 and then whatever you have in the gateway and your DNS, and make sure your IPv failures set to no, and I think those are the important ones, but the rest of it I think came by default, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
You see where it says 122 on that IP? That's the XX, so that would be your number. So 1021.122, it should be like 1021 your number dot 20.254.
Yeah.
Just to make that clear.
Oh, thank you, Josh.
Okay. Then you would do a systemctl restart network to apply it. Cool, and then you can do an IPA, check your IP. Mine changed on the ETH0 interface. Then you have to mount the default Red Hat libraries. So go to media, DVD drive, insert disk, VM storage, admin VMs. This guy, I already have it inserted. Then you would go to, you have to make a mount location for that image so you can extract the libraries out of it. So it's make directory -p /mount/disk. I'm not going to run it because I already have it. And then you have to actually mount the ISO with sudo mount. So that mounts the libraries from which you put into your CD-ROM, the default ISO image from Red Hat, and it'll put it in mount/disk, so it's mounted on your machine. Again, I'm not going to actually hit enter because I've done it. And then you have to copy from that repo the actual libraries to your local directory's yum repository, so you can actually have it work. And that it would be cp/mount/disk/media.repo. My text here is very small. To etsy yum.repo.d/redhat7dvd.repo. Is it .repo? Yeah, it's .repo. I must have mistyped that. And then after that, you have to actually change the configuration for yum. And then you have to make sure enable is set to 1, and your base URL is that mount/disk that you created, which has the ISO image mounted with all the default libraries, so you can use yum. The rest of this I'm pretty sure is already there. And then you would do a sudo yum clean all, and then a yum repo list enabled, and then a sudo yum update. And if you don't know, yum's a package manager similar to apt, but it's specifically for Red Hat, and I think CentOS uses it too. And then you would install your FTP server, which would be sudo yum install vsftpd. I already have it, so I'm not going to actually run it. Maybe I will, just like upgrade it, yeah. And then you have to edit the yum configuration file. Yeah, that's right.
Sudo.
Okay, this is big, and I tracked the things I uncommented. So I uncommented write underscore enable, anon upload enable, anon make directory write enable, and local underscore enable. And if those are, if when you uncomment them, you have to set them to yes if they're no. I can't remember which ones were yes and which ones were no, but they're all in here, this pretty extensively large file. But for example, anon make directory write enable, right? It was either set to no or commented out, so you have to make sure they're uncommented and set to yes. And then you can create a file to test FTP directory. And I already have this test file made, but you can just do like a sudo vi test file. And I'll just show what I have in here. And that directory, please work. That's what I wrote. And then you have to actually start the service. So you do a sudo service vs ftpd start. And that starts it. It's already running for me. And then you have to disable the Red Hat default firewall because that's not the firewall we want and it interferes with FTP working. So you do sudo, oh, you don't even need sudo. You just do a systemctl stop firewall daemon, which is just D, which is the basic Red Hat firewall daemon that's always running in the background. Cool. Now,
Oh, you should probably actually run that if you want to test it.
I think it's already off.
Oh, okay.
You can do status instead of just to make sure.
Yeah, it's off. Wait, is it? Yeah, it's dead. Okay.
Stopped.
So now you have to go to the Palo Alto user interface. Connect. I don't know if this is actually going to work because will it let me go to mine?
That's your Chrome browser.
I think you should go to the Firefox. Open
Is this the
up.
Firefox?
That's not.
Oh. Downloads. Not there it is.
22.
I'm not.
Oh, it is going to work.
Good. Yeah.
Cool. You go to policies, NAT, and then you have to edit the destination DMZ, which I have disabled because I disabled it from the last lab that's due today. So let me put that back on really quick. That should be on. That hopefully that doesn't interfere with this working. But then you have to set the it's gonna load too. You set the original packet to inside your trust zone on the 254 so that it's all encompassing on that trust zone. And then the translated packet you want to send to your DMZ, and this was the IP address of my Windows machine. No. Yes.
That's
No,
the
this is
IP
the
address
IP
of
of
your
the
router.
server I just set up.
The FTP server. So everybody, just remember what Josh mentioned, that 122 actually is replaced with your XX. So you don't set exactly the same IP address, that's your XX.
And then you go to security, and then Wow, this one's disabled too. Enable. Hopefully this new lab didn't ruin everything for me. And then you have to switch the destination address to the same as your source address for the original packet in your FTP rule, which is just this FTP server you set up. And is the right one broadcast? Yeah, the broadcast for it. And then you'll commit that. I'm not going to commit it. Actually, I probably should because I disabled them.
That was the gateway too.
That's supposed to be the gateway.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
No, there was, in one of the snapshots, something was said to be the gateway that was supposed to be something else.
Yeah, so the snapshots have the NAT policy for the network address translation inside the internal zone. The translated packet tab has the incorrect IP for what the translated packet should be according to the snapshot. So it actually points you towards the gateway address of the DMZ. So that's why Will mentioned that you have to change it to the .20, which is the address of the FTP server, not the gateway.
Yeah, and also for the new, the Palo Alto, I think it's 5 that's due today. I didn't load in the snapshot because I didn't want my rules being overwritten. I just went from what I had.
Okay, that also works. Yeah, if the snapshot just resets all your environments.
Cool. And
So you
then,
don't have to do that.
I have a screenshot of the setting that was wrong, so I can just post that in the discussion board if that's open.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe.
Which one was wrong?
It was here in lab 3, and I didn't check all the snapshots because I didn't go through.
then you hop on the Windows machine
The instruction is wrong.
No.
and you have to
This instruction was correct.
change the IP address of your Windows machine
That was
to be
set
in
incorrectly.
the
So-
trust
so that
zone.
Yeah, I forgot about it
Yeah.
once I found it.
So I can revise for everyone.
Yeah, I don't know, because I know that it was in snapshot for 4, and I would assume, it was in Josh's too. So I don't
Change
know
adapter
if
settings.
we're setting correctly.
Here's your
But
Ethernet
if you just kind of
interface,
kept it the same the whole time that I did
properties,
everything after lab 3.
IPv4, and you can configure it all right here.
And they would
So you set the default gateway to the trust zone gateway. You set the preferred DNS to the Palo Alto DNS, and my alternate DNS is just Google's, just for safekeeping.
Okay.
And I think the subnet mask is wrong. I don't know why that changed, but I think it should be 255.255.0. Yeah. I don't know what I did there.
Okay, good.
Okay. And then you can double check that. And you'll see your IP address. Where are you? Right here. And it is 55. Okay. And then you can test it by opening up Internet Explorer, and I'm hoping this works because things have changed since the last time I did
Wrong
this.
machine.
Huh?
Wrong machine?
Wrong machine.
Wrong machine. Good catch. FTP. It's not gonna work. Something changed since I did this last lab. That might be throwing it off.
That is the gateways.
Yeah, that's what you
Firewall
have to go
gateways.
to.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Okay,
So the NAT rule is what translates that request packet
right.
to the DMZ FTP servers packet. So it actually will translate the IP address. So this should get you FTP.
Okay.
Oh, trust me, when I was doing this before I did the most recent lab, it worked after. Josh helped me do this. I just want to point that out. Josh can confirm that it works.
Mm-hmm, yeah, probably somewhere,
Can you check to make sure your FTP server is running on the RHEL box?
right.
So
Let me in.
Does someone want to sub out or sub in rather?
You have to do that like at, oh, no, never mind. System CTL, things. Can I do this?
Yeah, VSFTP. D at the end.
Yeah, that's running. It might be because my IP address for some reason over here is 55.
No, that's fine.
I think,
That's what we set it to earlier.
I know, but I think I switched some of the rules since then because you wouldn't have to set the 55 into your Palo Alto rules at all, would you? You don't think so?
No. No, as long, so you're on
You
the.
just have to set it to the network of the 20 for the translation and the 254
Yes.
for the gateway.
That's right.
It must be something with the Palo Alto policies that I've recently done. Let's double check.
Yeah, some of the firewall rules, probably.
So let's get rid of this bad boy.
Can you just disable it?
Yes. Rid of this. Like. Why, maybe this was not on? Maybe?
You just disabled it.
I just did? I'm a very observant person. Oops. And then I'll probably disable this too.
That's just,
I think that's new, right?
you do have more application. I don't know what that one's for.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it.
Yeah.
And if you have access to yours right now, you wanna double check this with mine, like the rules,
Yeah.
just to make sure. Source egress outside. That's good. It should all be good.
So some of them requires the record keys and stuff, individual labs, so you do need to load. But for a couple of them,
Commit it in the meantime, adjust it while you pull that up.
yeah.
I think yours
Do you have it up?
looks- Yeah, I have mine up. I think yours looks
The same.
fine, yes.
Cause I feel like cause I did change the IP address from 55, cause I thought that was wrong at one point.
That should work. That's what we tested yours on before.
I
was
know.
75.
This is so slow. Okay, let's double check. Original packet, this.
That's fine.
Translated packet, you have this.
That's
Or should
fine.
that be 55?
No, because that's your translated packet to the FTP server inside the into. Can you do, on your RHEL box, can you do a if config? Or a IPA?
Yeah, I got it. This, yeah. Yeah, that's right. That is the FTP.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just do system CTL. No, I don't even have to do that. You just checked it. Well, no, I committed it, so let's try it
Yeah.
again.
Is that, you had that one rule you disabled that looked weird to me, so.
Ah. It was those weird rules.
You had that internal security rule with like 8 different applications, which I think was probably conflicting with your dedicated FTP rules. That might have been a conflict of rules.
Please work. Shout out to Josh for helping me through this. Just want to throw that out there. Josh is the real MVP here.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you, Dennis.
You can,
Yay,
you can
that
go.
works, great.
Uh,
Oh, so I missed the last
I'm not
part, what
recording,
was
so
the
we
reason
can,
that it didn't?
Oh, it was